What if I told you 40% of what you actually do every single day isn't actually a choice? Neuroscience has discovered that nearly half of our actions runs on autopilot. Habits so deeply wired into our brain that they happen without a conscious thought. But here's the game changer. Once you understand how your brain actually forms these habits, you can hack this system to automatically do things that you currently struggle with. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how your brain builds habit at the neurological level and the simple framework that has helped thousands transform their lives, including one technique that most people completely overlook, which I will reveal later. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to effortlessly maintain those good habits, but others struggle constantly? The difference isn't willpower or motivation. It's understanding the neuroscience of how habits actually form in your brain. Hi, I'm Ankit. And like many of you, I used to start and stop habits constantly. I would get excited about new routine like meditate or exercise, stick with it for like a week or two, then watch it fade away. It was frustrating and honestly made me question my self-discipline thousands of times. That all changed when I finally discovered the neurological mechanism behind the habit formation. Today, I'm breaking down the complete science of habits, from the neurological process in your brain to practical strategies that you can apply immediately. Whether you're trying to build a consistent exercise routine, develop better work habits, create a daily mindful practice, or break destructive patterns. This video will give you the exact blueprint based on how your brain actually works and not just some motivational shit that fades by next week. Let's dive into the fascinating world of neuroscience. At the core of every habit is what the scientists call the habit loop, a neurological pattern that governs any habit. This loop consists of three elements: cue, routine, reward. Let's break this down. The cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain to go into the automatic mode and which habit to use. It could be time of day, location, an emotional state, other people, or an immediately preceding action. For example, walking into your bathroom in the morning is a cue that triggers your toothbrushing habit. Feeling stressed might be a cue to check your social media or your emails. The routine. This is the actual behavior or action that you perform, the actual habit itself. It could be physical, like exercising, mental, like meditation, or emotional, like how you react to a criticism. The reward. This is what your brain gets after performing the habit. Rewards satisfy your cravings and teach your brain which habit loops are satisfying and repeats itself. Like when you brush your teeth, the reward is feeling fresh, that clean feeling. When you check your social media, the reward is often novel information and social connection, both things that release dopamine in your brain. What's fascinating is that research from MIT has shown that as you form a habit, your brain activity actually changes. When learning a new behavior, activity in your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, is highly active. But as the behavior becomes automatic, this activity shifts to the basal ganglia, or more primitive region that handles automatic behaviors. This explains why habit formation is so difficult at first, but as the time goes by, it becomes like a second nature because they literally moves to a different part of your brain. This transition happens because of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Every time you perform a specific behavior, you activate a particular neural pathway. The more you activate this neural pathway, the more active it becomes. Just like a path through grass becomes more defined the more it's walked on. Neuroscientists call this long-term potentiation, the strengthening of synapses through repeated use. This is why consistency is so crucial for habit formation. A groundbreaking study from University College London found that it takes anywhere from 18 to 254 days for a behavior to become automatic, with an average of 66 days, not the 21 days that's often quoted. The basal ganglia plays a crucial role in this process. This primitive brain region is actually responsible for pattern recognition and repeating behaviors. When a behavior becomes habitual, the basal ganglia takes over, allowing your conscious brain to focus on other things. This is exactly why you can drive home while having a deep conversation or brush your teeth while planning your day. Your basal ganglia is handling the habit, while your prefrontal cortex is free to think about other things. Now that we understand the neuroscience, let's talk about how to leverage this knowledge to build effective habits. The key is to deliberately design each component of this habit loop. Engineered cues. Research shows that the most effective habit cues are specific and consistent. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who exercise in response to specific cues, like putting workout clothes next to their bed, were 99% more likely to maintain their routine than those who relied on motivation alone. To create effective cues, make them obvious and unavoidable. Tie them to an existing habit. This is what they call the habit stacking. Design your environment to showcase the cues. For example, if you want to take vitamins each morning, place them next to your coffee. Assuming you take coffee every morning, the existing habit of making coffee becomes the cue for your new habit, that is, taking those vitamins. Simplified routines. Research from Stanford's Behavior Design Lab shows that when a habit requires less effort, it's more likely to become habitual. This is why starting with the micro version of your habit is so effective while building that particular habit. For example, instead of meditate for 20 minutes, start with meditate for 60 seconds. Instead of write for an hour, maybe write one paragraph. Instead of run 5 miles, start with maybe putting on the running shoes. By making the routine ridiculously easy, you overcome the initial resistance that prevents habit formation. Strategic reward. Here is that overlooked technique that I mentioned earlier. Immediate rewards are neurologically more powerful than the delayed ones. Our brain has evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over future benefits. This is why habits with delayed gratification, like exercise or saving money, are harder to form than the habits with immediate rewards, like scrolling social media or eating sweets. The solution is to add immediate rewards to beneficial habits. After working out, enjoy a delicious protein smoothie you genuinely look forward to. After focused work sessions, give yourself 10 minutes of guilt-free relaxation. After saving money, transfer a small, fun money amount to celebrate. These immediate rewards bridge the commitment gap and help your brain associate positive feelings about the habit. Now let's address the elephant in the room: when habits don't stick, and the science of overcoming these obstacles. Research from Duke University shows that 45% of our daily behaviors are habitual. This means many unwanted behaviors aren't conscious choices, but automatic response to specific cues. Breaking bad habits. Neuroscience shows that you cannot just simply eliminate the habit. You must replace it with a new one. This is because once the neural pathways form, they remain in your brain even when dormant. The most effective approach is to keep the same cue and same reward, but change the routine. Identify the cue triggering your unwanted habit. Experiment to discover what is that reward that you're actually craving. Substitute a new routine that provides a similar reward. For example, if you habitually check social media when feeling bored, and remember, this is your cue, and the reward is mental stimulation, you might substitute like reading a fascinating article instead of scrolling Instagram or TikTok. Same cue, same reward, just different routine. And the most important, understanding your slip-ups. Neuroscience research from the University of Southern California shows that stress causes us to fall back on habitual behaviors, even the unwanted ones. This explains why we revert back to old habits when we struggle. The science of habit formation suggests that occasional slip-ups don't significantly impact the long-term success as long as you return to the desired behavior quickly. It's what the researchers call "what the hell" effect that derails the progress when one slip leads to complete abandonment. Strategies to overcome the slip-ups include: implement the never miss twice rule. 1 miss is an accident. 2 is the start of a new habit. Be careful. Use mindfulness to recognize the cues that trigger the unwanted behaviors. Practice self-compassion instead of self-criticism when you slip. Research shows that this actually improves your recovery rates. Track your habits visually to maintain awareness and the motivation. The true power of habit lies in the compound effect over time. A fascinating study from researchers at Northwestern University found that habits account for approximately 43% of the differences in health outcomes between individuals. This compound effect works through what mathematicians call the power laws. Small, consistent improvements compound dramatically over time. 1% better every day is equal to 37 times better by year's end. Reading just 10 pages daily is equal to 3,650 pages, roughly 12 books per year. I know it's gonna be hard, but I think we can all do like 6 if you really want to read it. Saving $5 daily is 1825 per year plus the compound interest. What's particularly powerful is how habit formation affect your identity. Research in psychological science shows that as you consistently perform these behaviors, your self-perception changes to match these behaviors. This creates a positive feedback loop. You build a small habit like writing for 10 minutes daily. You begin to see yourself as a writer. This expanded habit further reinforces the identity. The key is starting small enough that the success is 100% guaranteed. Neuroscience shows that success experiences releases dopamine, which strengthens neural pathways and accelerates habit formation. I recommend starting with just 1 or 2 keystone habits, behaviors that naturally lead to positive changes in other areas of your life. Research from social psychological and personality science identified exercise, mindfulness, and sleep hygiene as particularly powerful keystone habits, which is easier said than done, by the way. For example, establishing a consistent sleep schedule often naturally improves nutrition choices, productivity, and emotional regulation without even directly addressing those areas. So there we have it, the complete neuroscience behind the habit formation. Understand the habit loop of cue, routine, and reward that governs all habits. Leverage neuroplasticity by consistent practice to strengthen neural pathways. Design effective cues and immediate rewards to trigger and reinforce desired behaviors. Replace unwanted habits rather than trying to eliminate them. Build identity-based habits that compound over time. Remember that habit formation isn't about perfection. It's about implementing systems that works with your brain natural tendencies rather than against them. And the beauty of understanding the neuroscience is that it removes the moral judgment around the habits. Struggling with habits don't mean you lack willpower or discipline. It simply means you haven't yet aligned the environment and routines with how your brain naturally works. I've used this framework to transform numerous habits in my own life, from establishing a consistent journal writing practice to eliminating social media addiction that was consuming like hours of my day. Start small, be consistent, and trust the process. Your brain is literally rewiring itself after every repetition. If you found this breakdown of neuroscience valuable, you might like to check out my other videos where I share more and more. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss my future videos. And if you liked this one, I've also created a free monthly habit tracker template based on these neuroscientific principles. It's designed to work with your brain's reward system to maintain the motivation and track progress effectively. Click the link in the description and download it now. And I'd love to know, what's one habit you're currently working on or you're breaking down? Drop it in the comments and I'll personally respond with a science-backed strategy tailored to your specific situation. Thanks for watching. And remember, understanding your brain is the first step to transforming your habits and ultimately your life.